Man inherited a large amount of money and decides to quit his job and buy a cafe. An audio story. Ethan Hartwell never imagined his life would change so drastically with a single phone call. Growing up in a modest household in the suburbs, he had learned the value of hard work and perseverance from a young age. His father, a dedicated mechanic with grease-stained hands and a warm, reassuring smile, always smelled faintly of motor oil. His mother, a compassionate school teacher with kind, tired eyes and an ever-present aroma of lavender, spent her days nurturing young minds. Together, they instilled in Ethan a strong work ethic and a deep sense of responsibility. From an early age, Ethan understood that success was something earned through dedication and effort, not something handed down. His parents, despite their modest means, provided a loving home filled with laughter, encouragement, and the occasional stern lecture about the importance of integrity and hard work. Tragically, they passed away when Ethan was in his early 20s, leaving him with cherished memories and the values they had imparted. At 30, Ethan had built a respectable career in marketing. He started at the bottom, taking an entry-level position in a bustling advertising firm where the air buzzed with the constant hum of ringing phones and clicking keyboards. Through late nights filled with brainstorming sessions and coffee-fueled creativity, Ethan's innovative ideas and unwavering commitment to excellence propelled him up the corporate ladder. He was known for his charismatic personality, with his piercing blue eyes and strong jawline often turning heads, and an uncanny ability to connect with clients. Despite his achievements, Ethan remained grounded, always remembering his roots and the lessons his parents taught him. One crisp autumn morning, Ethan was at his office, buried under a pile of campaign drafts and surrounded by the smell of freshly printed paper and the faint aroma of the office's communal coffee pot. The steady hum of the air conditioner and the distant chatter of his colleagues created a familiar, almost comforting background noise. His phone buzzed, interrupting his concentration. It was a number he didn't recognize. Answering it with a blend of curiosity and caution, he was greeted by a lawyer's voice, informing him of an inheritance left by a distant relative he barely knew. The relative, a successful entrepreneur with no immediate family, had left his entire fortune to Ethan. Stunned, Ethan listened as the lawyer detailed the assets, investments, and properties now under his name. The inheritance was substantial, catapulting Ethan into a realm of wealth he had never fathomed. Yet, with this newfound fortune, Ethan felt a sense of disorientation. He had always valued the simplicity and honesty of hard work, and now he faced the challenge of managing a vast wealth he hadn't earned himself. Instead of indulging in luxury, Ethan decided to use this opportunity to explore new avenues and understand the world from different perspectives. He found himself drawn to the idea of small businesses, places where community and personal effort played pivotal roles. It was during one of his contemplative walks through the city, the air filled with the sense of street food vendors and the distant sound of traffic, that he stumbled upon a quaint, struggling cafe nestled between towering office buildings and trendy boutiques. The cafe, with its weathered sign and invitingly mismatched furniture visible through the large windows, called to him. Ethan decided to purchase it, much to the bafflement of his friends and colleagues. To him, it made perfect sense. He wanted to reconnect with the essence of community and hard work. By stepping into the role of a small business owner, he hoped to gain insights into the lives of those who worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Ethan's plan was simple: immerse himself in the daily operations of the cafe, understand its challenges, and connect with the people who frequented and ran it. He took up a position as a cashier, preferring to be at the front line where he could interact with both employees and customers. Quitting his high-pressure marketing job, he embraced this new chapter with a mix of anticipation and nervousness. The cafe's interior was a cozy blend of rustic charm and modern touches. The walls were adorned with local artwork, the wooden tables bore the marks of countless conversations, and the air was thick with the rich aroma of coffee and freshly baked pastries. The soft murmur of conversations and the clinking of cups created a welcoming, almost familial atmosphere. This was a new beginning for Ethan. The sound of the coffee grinder filled the small cafe, mingling with the rich aroma of freshly brewed espresso. Sunlight streamed through the large windows, casting a warm glow on the rustic wooden tables and the eclectic mix of chairs scattered around the room. The soft hum of conversation and the clinking of cups created a cozy, welcoming atmosphere. Ethan stood behind the counter, his piercing blue eyes scanning the cafe with interest. At 30, he was a striking figure with a strong jawline, short-cropped dark hair, and a charming smile that had won over many in the business world. But today, he was not here as a wealthy investor. He was here to learn, to connect, and to understand the heart of the small business he had just purchased. Dressed in a simple black t-shirt and jeans, Ethan exuded a casual confidence that belied his true status. He had traded his tailored suits for an apron, his polished shoes for comfortable sneakers. As he took his place behind the counter, he felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness. This was a new world for him, one where he hoped to find a deeper sense of purpose. The cafe, aptly named the Corner Bean, had been a staple in the neighborhood for years. Its previous owner, a kind elderly woman named Mrs. Jenkins, had decided to retire and move closer to her grandchildren. Ethan had bought the cafe from her, charmed by its quaint ambience and the loyal customers who frequented it. He wanted to keep the spirit of the place alive while injecting some new energy and ideas. As Ethan adjusted to his new role, he noticed a young woman working diligently at the espresso machine. She had long, curly brown hair that cascaded down her back, and bright green eyes that sparkled with determination. Her petite frame moved gracefully as she expertly crafted each drink, her warm, friendly smile greeting every customer. This was Lily, the cafe's star barista. At 25, Lily was known for her exceptional coffee-making skills and her dedication to the cafe. She had been working at the Corner Bean for 3 years, and her passion for her job was evident in everything she did. However, she was initially wary of Ethan, seeing him as a wealthy outsider who didn't understand the struggles of working in a small business. Lily's first impression of Ethan was one of skepticism. She couldn't help but wonder why a man with his kind of money and background would be interested in running a small cafe. She had heard stories of rich people buying businesses on a whim, only to lose interest and abandon them when the novelty wore off. She was determined to protect the cafe and ensure it continued to thrive, regardless of Ethan's intentions. "Good morning, Lily." Ethan greeted her with a smile as he tied his apron. "How's everything going?" Lily glanced at him, her expression neutral. "Morning, Ethan. Everything's fine. Just the usual morning rush." Ethan nodded, taking in the bustling scene. Customers lined up, eager for their caffeine fix, while others sat at tables, engrossed in conversations or tapping away on laptops. The smell of freshly baked pastries wafted through the air, adding to the inviting atmosphere. "Great," Ethan replied, his tone cheerful. "Let me know if there's anything I can do to help." Lily raised an eyebrow, a hint of skepticism in her eyes. "You sure you're up for it? It's not exactly the same as closing a big marketing deal." Ethan chuckled, appreciating her candidness. "I'm ready to learn, Lily. Besides, I think there's a lot more to this place than just serving coffee." Lily's expression softened slightly, but she remained cautious. "All right, just follow my lead. I'll show you how things are done around here." As the morning rush continued, Ethan immersed himself in his new role. He took orders, rang up sales, and even tried his hand at making a few drinks under Lily's watchful eye. It was a humbling experience, one that made him appreciate the skill and dedication required to run a small business. Despite their different backgrounds, Ethan and Lily began to find a rhythm. Ethan's charm and willingness to learn started to win over the regular customers, who were initially curious about the new owner. His genuine interest in their lives and the community added a personal touch that resonated with them. Lily, on the other hand, was impressed by Ethan's work ethic. She had expected him to be aloof or out of touch, but he proved to be hands-on and eager to understand every aspect of the cafe. Slowly, her wariness began to give way to a grudging respect. One afternoon, as the lunch rush died down and the cafe settled into a quieter pace, Ethan and Lily found themselves with a rare moment to chat. They stood behind the counter, the soft hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of traffic outside providing a soothing backdrop. "So, what made you decide to buy the Corner Bean?" Lily asked, her curiosity finally getting the better of her. Ethan leaned against the counter, his blue eyes thoughtful. "I wanted to do something different, something that felt more connected to people. My parents taught me the value of hard work and community. After I inherited the money, I realized I wanted to invest in something meaningful, something that wasn't just about profits." Lily studied him, trying to gauge his sincerity. "That's a noble reason. But this place is more than just a business. It's like a second home for a lot of us." Ethan nodded, his expression serious. "I know, and I want to honor that. I don't want to change the essence of what makes this place special. I just want to help it thrive." For the first time, Lily felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, Ethan was different from the wealthy outsiders she had known. Perhaps he truly understood the importance of community and the hard work it took to sustain it. As the afternoon sun cast a golden glow over the Corner Bean, Ethan and Lily continued their conversation, each step bringing them closer to understanding and mutual respect. It was the beginning of a new chapter for the cafe and for them, a journey filled with challenges, growth, and the promise of something special. Ethan's first few days at the Corner Bean were a whirlwind of activity and learning. The cafe operated at a fast pace, especially during the morning and lunch rushes. Ethan found himself constantly on his toes, trying to keep up with orders and learn the nuances of running a small business. Despite his best efforts, there were moments when his inexperience showed, leading to a few frustrated customers and the occasional spilled coffee. Lily observed Ethan's efforts with a mixture of amusement and skepticism. She couldn't deny that he was trying, but she also couldn't shake the feeling that he didn't fully grasp the realities of working in a small business. Her initial wariness had softened slightly, but she remained guarded, watching to see if Ethan would prove himself or if he would eventually lose interest and move on. One particularly busy morning, the cafe was packed with customers, the line stretching out the door. The air was filled with the rich aroma of coffee and the sounds of conversations, orders being called out, and the whirring of the espresso machine. Ethan was manning the cash register, his blue eyes scanning the crowd as he took orders and processed payments. "Good morning. What can I get for you today?" Ethan asked, his smile genuine as he greeted a regular customer. "I'll have a large cappuccino and a blueberry muffin," the customer replied, handing over their payment. Ethan quickly rang up the order and called it out to Lily, who was working the espresso machine with her usual efficiency. Despite the chaos around her, she moved with practiced ease, her hands a blur as she steamed milk, pulled espresso shots, and assembled drinks. As the morning rush continued, Ethan found himself juggling multiple tasks. He took orders, cleared tables, and even attempted to make a few drinks when the line at the counter grew too long. It was during one of these moments, as he fumbled with the controls of the espresso machine, that Lily stepped in. "Here, let me show you," she said, her tone firm but not unkind. "You need to hold the milk pitcher at this angle and make sure the steam wand is just below the surface." Ethan watched intently as Lily demonstrated the technique, her movements precise and confident. He nodded, taking in her instructions and appreciating her expertise. "Thanks, Lily," Ethan said, his voice sincere. "I appreciate your help." Lily nodded, a hint of a smile tugging at her lips. "No problem. Just remember it's all about the technique. And don't forget to clean the steam wand after each use." As the day went on, Ethan and Lily continued to work side by side, their interactions gradually becoming more comfortable. Despite their different backgrounds and initial clashes, they were finding common ground in their shared commitment to the cafe. One evening, after the cafe had closed and the last customer had left, Ethan and Lily sat at one of the wooden tables, sipping coffee and reflecting on the day. The cafe was quiet now, the only sounds being the distant hum of the refrigerator and the occasional creak of the wooden floorboards. "You did well today," Lily said, breaking the silence. "You're learning fast." Ethan smiled, grateful for her acknowledgement. "Thanks, Lily. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm enjoying the process. This place is starting to feel like home." Lily looked at him, her green eyes thoughtful. "You know, when you first showed up, I wasn't sure what to think. I thought you might be like other wealthy people I've known, just dabbling in something different until you got bored." Ethan nodded, understanding her skepticism. "I get that, but I promise you, I'm here for the long haul. This cafe means a lot to me, and I want to make sure it thrives." Lily studied him for a moment, then nodded. "All right, let's see if you can keep up with the lunch rush tomorrow. It's going to be a busy one." Ethan chuckled, appreciating her challenge. "Bring it on. I'm ready." The next day dawned bright and early, and the corner being quickly filled with the usual mix of regulars and new customers. The scent of fresh coffee and pastries wafted through the air, mingling with the sounds of chatter and laughter. Ethan and Lily fell into their now familiar routine, working together to keep the cafe running smoothly. As they navigated the challenges of the day, their interactions became more fluid, their teamwork more seamless. Ethan's respect for Lily grew with each passing hour, impressed by her dedication and skill. He admired her ability to stay calm under pressure and her unwavering commitment to the cafe. For Lily, seeing Ethan's determination and genuine interest in the business was slowly chipping away at her initial skepticism. She began to appreciate his willingness to learn and his respect for the cafe's community. Despite their differences, she was starting to see that they shared a common goal: to make the corner bean a success. As the lunch rush came to an end and the afternoon sun cast a warm glow over the cafe, Ethan and Lily took a moment to catch their breath. They stood behind the counter, sipping iced coffees and enjoying the brief lull in activity. "You know, Ethan," Lily said, her voice thoughtful, "I think you might just make a pretty good barista after all." Ethan laughed, his blue eyes sparkling with amusement. "Thanks, Lily. Coming from you, that's high praise." Lily smiled, feeling a sense of camaraderie with her new boss. "Just keep up the good work, and who knows, maybe we'll make a great team." As they continued to chat and plan for the future, both Ethan and Lily felt a growing sense of optimism. They had come a long way from their initial clashes, finding common ground in their shared passion for the cafe. It was the beginning of a partnership that promised to bring new life to the Corner Bean and, perhaps, something more. Days turned into weeks, and the Corner Bean began to feel like a second home to Ethan. He had settled into his role, learning the intricacies of the business and becoming a familiar face to the regulars. His initial nerves had given way to a sense of belonging, and he found himself looking forward to each day at the cafe. The bustling morning rushes, the quiet afternoons, and the steady flow of customers had become the rhythm of his new life. Ethan's respect for Lily grew with each passing day. Her dedication, skill, and unwavering commitment to the cafe were inspiring. She was the heart and soul of the Corner Bean, and Ethan was determined to support her in every way he could. One sunny afternoon, the cafe was relatively quiet. The usual crowd of office workers and students had dwindled, leaving a few scattered customers enjoying their coffee and pastries. The air was filled with the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the soft sounds of indie music playing in the background. Ethan took the opportunity to chat with Lily, who was wiping down the counter with her usual efficiency. He admired the way her curly brown hair framed her face and the determined gleam in her bright green eyes. Despite the weariness that sometimes crept into her expression, she always managed to greet each customer with a warm, friendly smile. "Lily, can I ask you something?" Ethan said, leaning against the counter. Lily looked up, her expression curious. "Sure, what's on your mind?" Ethan hesitated for a moment, then decided to be honest. "I've been thinking a lot about how to improve the cafe, make it even better for our customers. I wanted to get your input, since you've been here much longer than I have." Lily's eyes softened with appreciation. "I appreciate that, Ethan. It's nice to know you value my opinion." "Of course I do," Ethan replied sincerely. "You know this place inside out. I want to make sure we're on the same page and working towards the same goals. Lily nodded, a thoughtful expression on her face. Well, one thing I've noticed is that we could use more variety in our menu. Customers often ask for different types of pastries or specialty drinks. Maybe we could introduce some seasonal items or collaborate with local bakers. Ethan listened intently, taking mental notes. That sounds like a great idea. We could also consider hosting events like live music nights or coffee tastings. It might draw in more customers and create a sense of community. Lily smiled, clearly pleased with Ethan's enthusiasm. I think that could work. We have a lot of talented local musicians who would love to perform here. And coffee tastings could be a fun way to introduce people to new blends and flavors. As they continued to brainstorm, Ethan felt a growing sense of camaraderie with Lily. Their ideas flowed naturally, building on each other's suggestions and envisioning a bright future for the Corner Bean. It was clear that they both shared a deep passion for the cafe and a desire to see it thrive. Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of the door chime, signaling the arrival of a customer. Ethan turned to see a young woman with a toddler in tow, looking slightly frazzled. He immediately stepped forward to assist her, his charming smile putting her at ease. "Welcome to the Corner Bean. What can I get for you today?" Ethan asked. The woman glanced at the menu, then at her restless child. "I'll have a latte, please, and a chocolate chip cookie for my little one." Ethan quickly prepared the order, chatting with the woman and making sure she felt welcome. Lily watched from the counter, a small smile playing on her lips. She had to admit, Ethan had a natural talent for connecting with customers and making them feel valued. As the afternoon turned into evening, Ethan and Lily continued to work side by side, their interactions becoming more fluid and their teamwork more seamless. Despite their different backgrounds, they were finding common ground in their shared commitment to the cafe. One evening, as they were closing up for the night, Ethan turned to Lily with a thoughtful expression. "You know, Lily, I really appreciate all the help you've given me. I couldn't have done this without you." Lily looked up, her green eyes meeting his. "You're doing a great job, Ethan. I was skeptical at first, but you've proven that you're here for the right reasons. I'm glad we're working together." Ethan smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Thanks, Lily. That means a lot coming from you." As they locked up the cafe and stepped out into the cool night air, Ethan and Lily walked together down the quiet street. The city lights cast a warm glow, and the sounds of distant traffic filled the air. "Do you ever think about the future, Lily?" Ethan asked, his voice contemplative. "Where you see yourself in a few years?" Lily nodded, her expression thoughtful. "All the time. I want to finish my degree in business administration and maybe even open my own cafe someday. But for now, I'm focused on making the Corner Bean the best it can be." Ethan admired her determination. "I have no doubt you'll achieve your dreams, Lily, and I'm here to support you every step of the way." Lily smiled, feeling a sense of hope and possibility. "Thanks, Ethan. I appreciate that." As they continued to walk and talk, Ethan and Lily found themselves growing closer, their shared passion for the cafe forging a strong bond between them. They were no longer just co-workers. They were partners, working together to create something special. As the weeks turned into months, Ethan and Lily's bond continued to strengthen. They spent countless hours together, working to improve the Corner Bean and making it a beloved spot in the community. Their shared dedication and complementary skills transformed the cafe into a vibrant, bustling hub that drew in customers from all over the city. Despite their professional partnership, there was an undeniable undercurrent of something more between them. Ethan found himself looking forward to every shift, not just for the work, but for the moments he shared with Lily. Her laughter, her determination, and her unwavering passion for the cafe captivated him. And Lily, despite her initial reservations, had come to admire Ethan's genuine commitment and kindness. One evening, after closing up the cafe, Ethan and Lily decided to take a walk through the nearby park. The air was cool and crisp, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the soft rustle of leaves. The park was quiet, the hustle and bustle of the city replaced by the gentle sounds of nature. As they strolled along the winding paths, their conversation flowed easily, touching on everything from cafe business to their personal dreams and aspirations. It was during a lull in the conversation, as they sat on a bench overlooking a serene pond, that Ethan decided it was time to share something deeply personal. "Lily, there's something I need to tell you," Ethan began, his blue eyes serious as they met her curious gaze. Lily looked at him, her green eyes filled with concern. "What is it, Ethan? You can tell me anything." Ethan took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. "I haven't been completely honest with you about how I came into my wealth. I think it's important you know the full story." Lily listened intently as Ethan recounted the phone call that changed his life, the unexpected inheritance from a distant relative, and his decision to leave his marketing career behind. He spoke of his modest upbringing, his parents' untimely passing, and the values they had instilled in him. As he shared his journey, he watched Lily's expression change from curiosity to surprise and, finally, to understanding. "I had no idea," Lily said softly when he finished. "I mean, I knew you were wealthy, but I didn't know the story behind it. Thank you for sharing that with me." Ethan nodded, feeling a weight lift from his shoulders. "I wanted you to know because I value your trust and respect. I didn't want there to be any secrets between us." Lily reached out and placed a hand on his arm, her touch warm and reassuring. I appreciate your honesty, Ethan. It means a lot. And for what it's worth, I think you've done an amazing job adapting to this new life. You've shown a lot of heart and dedication. Ethan smiled, grateful for her words. Thanks, Lily. That means more to me than you know. They sat in companionable silence for a while, the sounds of the park enveloping them in a soothing embrace. The moon had risen, casting a gentle glow over the landscape, and the distant lights of the city twinkled like stars. Lily, there's something else, Ethan said, breaking the silence. I care about you a lot, more than just a colleague or a friend. I think you're incredible, and I admire everything about you. Lily's heart skipped a beat at his confession. She had sensed a growing connection between them, but hearing Ethan voice his feelings brought a rush of emotions. She looked into his eyes, seeing the sincerity and vulnerability there. Ethan, I care about you too, she admitted, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. You've become an important part of my life, and I can't imagine the cafe or my life without you. Ethan's smile widened, his eyes reflecting the moonlight. I'm so glad to hear that, Lily. I know it might be complicated, but I want us to explore this, whatever this is, together. Lily nodded, feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation. I'd like that too, Ethan. Let's take it one step at a time and see where it leads. As they sat together, sharing a moment that felt both profound and tender, Ethan and Lily knew that they were embarking on a new chapter in their relationship. It was a chapter filled with possibilities, challenges, and the promise of something beautiful. The next day at the cafe, their interactions carried a newfound warmth and closeness. Their colleagues and regular customers couldn't help but notice the subtle changes, the shared smiles, the lingering glances, and the way they seemed to move in perfect harmony. Ethan and Lily's confession had opened the door to a deeper connection, one that went beyond their professional partnership. It was a bond built on mutual respect, admiration, and a growing affection that neither could deny. As they navigated the challenges of running the corner bean and explored their feelings for each other, Ethan and Lily knew that they were on a journey of discovery and growth. Together, they would face whatever came their way, united by their shared passion for the cafe and their blossoming romance. The more Ethan and Lily's relationship blossomed, the more they opened up about their personal lives. Ethan learned about Lily's family, her parents who worked tirelessly to provide for their children, and her younger brother, Alex, who was still in school and dreaming of becoming an engineer. Lily's dedication to her family was evident in everything she did, from her long hours at the cafe to her nightly study sessions for her business administration degree. Despite their growing closeness, Lily's financial struggles weighed heavily on her. Ethan could see the stress in her eyes and the weariness that sometimes crept into her usually cheerful demeanor. He wanted to help, but he also knew how fiercely independent Lily was. One evening, as they closed up the cafe, Ethan decided to broach the subject. The cafe was quiet, the only sounds being the soft hum of the refrigerator and the distant city noise filtering in through the windows. They sat together at one of the wooden tables, a comfortable silence between them. Lily, can I talk to you about something? Ethan began, his tone gentle. Lily looked up from the ledger she was reviewing, her green eyes curious. Of course, Ethan. What's on your mind? Ethan hesitated for a moment, choosing his words carefully. I've noticed how hard you're working, not just here but with your studies and helping your family. I know it's not my place, but I want to help you. Financially, Lily's expression shifted, a mixture of surprise and defensiveness. Ethan, I appreciate your concern, but I can't accept your help. It's not right. Ethan reached out, taking her hand in his. Lily, I care about you and your family. I want to make things easier for you. You don't have to do everything on your own. Lily pulled her hand back, her jaw set in a stubborn line. I don't want to be indebted to anyone, Ethan. I need to do this on my own. It's important to me. Ethan sighed, understanding but frustrated. I get that, Lily. I really do. But sometimes accepting help doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're smart enough to know when you need support. Lily shook her head, her curly brown hair bouncing with the motion. I can't, Ethan. I can't let myself rely on someone else. I've always had to be strong for my family, and I won't let that change now. Ethan saw the determination in her eyes, the same determination that made her such a remarkable person. He knew he couldn't push her, but he also couldn't stand by and do nothing. All right, Lily, he said softly. I respect your decision. Just know that the offer stands whenever you need it. Lily nodded, her expression softening slightly. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. But for now, I need to handle this my way. The conversation left a lingering tension between them, a reminder of the challenges they faced individually and as a couple. Ethan respected Lily's independence, but he couldn't shake the desire to help her. He knew he had to find a way to support her without compromising her pride. In the days that followed, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about their conversation. He admired Lily's strength and determination, but he also saw the toll it was taking on her. One evening, after another long day at the cafe, Ethan found himself pacing in his apartment, searching for a solution. Finally, he came up with an idea. It was risky and might anger Lily, but he believed it was the right thing to do. He decided to reach out to Lily's parents directly. He knew it was a gamble, but he hoped they would understand his intentions and accept his help. The next day, during a quiet moment at the cafe, Ethan approached Lily with a hesitant smile. "Lily, I've been thinking about our conversation the other night." Lily looked up from the espresso machine, her expression guarded. "And I understand your need for independence, and I respect that. But I also care about you and your family. I hope you can forgive me for what I'm about to do," Ethan said, his tone sincere. Lily's brow furrowed in confusion. "What are you talking about, Ethan?" Ethan took a deep breath. "I'm going to reach out to your parents and offer my help directly. I know you don't want to accept it, but maybe they will. I just want to make sure you're not carrying this burden alone." Lily's eyes widened in shock and anger. "Ethan, you can't do that. It's not your place to interfere in my family's business." Ethan held up his hands in a placating gesture. "I know it seems like I'm overstepping, but I genuinely want to help. Please just consider it." Lily's jaw tightened, her green eyes blazing. "Ethan, I can't believe you would go behind my back like this. It's not your decision to make." Ethan sighed, his expression pained. "I know you're angry, and you have every right to be, but I can't stand by and do nothing when I see you struggling. Just talk to your parents, see what they think." Lily took a deep breath, trying to calm herself. "I'll talk to them, but I can't promise anything. And Ethan, this can't happen again. You have to respect my boundaries." Ethan nodded, relieved that she was at least willing to consider it. "I promise, Lily. I won't interfere again. I just want to help." As the tension between them slowly eased, Ethan felt a glimmer of hope. He knew it would take time for Lily to come to terms with his offer, but he believed in her strength and resilience. Together, they would navigate this challenge, just as they had faced every other obstacle. Ethan couldn't ignore the burden that Lily carried, even after she had firmly rejected his offer of financial help. He respected her independence and her determination to handle things on her own, but he also saw the toll it was taking on her. He decided to find a way to help without undermining her pride. One evening, after another long day at the cafe, Ethan sat in his apartment, thinking about Lily's situation. The memory of their conversation weighed heavily on him. He admired her strength and resilience, but he couldn't stand by and watch her struggle alone. Determined to find a solution, Ethan made a discreet call to Lily's parents. He introduced himself and explained his intentions, emphasizing that he wanted to offer financial assistance without making Lily feel indebted. To his relief, they were understanding and grateful. They agreed to accept his help while promising to keep it a secret from Lily. The next few weeks saw small but significant changes in Lily's family's financial situation. Her parents seemed less stressed, and there were noticeable improvements in their home. New appliances replaced the old, worn-out ones, and long-overdue repairs were finally being addressed. There was a general sense of relief and optimism that hadn't been there before. Lily couldn't help but notice the sudden change. She questioned her parents, but they brushed off her concerns, attributing it to a fortunate turn of events. Suspicious but unable to prove anything, Lily continued to focus on her work and studies, though a nagging doubt lingered at the back of her mind. One evening, after a particularly long day at the cafe, Lily arrived home to find her parents in unusually high spirits. Her father, who usually wore a look of quiet resignation, was animatedly discussing plans for further home improvements. Her mother, who often seemed tired and worn out, was smiling and laughing. "What's going on?" Lily asked, her curiosity piqued. Her mother looked up, her eyes twinkling with a mixture of happiness and mischief. "Oh, nothing much, dear. Just some good luck coming our way." Lily's suspicion grew, but she decided not to press the issue. She didn't want to dampen their spirits with her doubts. The next day at the cafe, Lily's thoughts kept drifting back to her parents' unusual behavior. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. During a quiet moment in the afternoon, she approached Ethan, who was restocking the pastry case. "Ethan, can I talk to you for a minute?" Lily asked, her tone serious. Ethan looked up, sensing her unease. "Of course, Lily. What's on your mind?" Lily hesitated, trying to find the right words. "I've noticed some changes at home. My parents seem less stressed, and we've been able to afford things we couldn't before. They say it's just good luck, but I can't help but wonder if there's more to it." Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. He had hoped Lily wouldn't connect the dots, but he knew this moment would come eventually. "What are you trying to say, Lily?" Lily met his gaze, her green eyes filled with suspicion and curiosity. "Did you have anything to do with it, Ethan? Did you go behind my back and help my parents financially?" Ethan took a deep breath, knowing he couldn't lie to her. "Yes, Lily, I did. I reached out to them because I saw how much you were struggling, and I wanted to help. I know you didn't want my assistance, but I couldn't just stand by and do nothing." Lily's expression hardened, a mixture of anger and betrayal flashing in her eyes. "Ethan, how could you? I told you I didn't want your help. This was my responsibility, my burden to bear." Ethan stepped closer, his voice earnest and pleading. "I know and I respect that, but sometimes we all need a little help, even if we don't want to admit it. I did it because I care about you and your family. I couldn't watch you suffer." Lily took a step back, shaking her head. "You went behind my back, Ethan. You didn't respect my wishes. How can I trust you now?" Ethan felt a pang of guilt and regret. "I'm sorry, Lily. I thought I was doing the right thing. I just wanted to make things easier for you. Please try to understand. Lily's eyes filled with tears, her voice trembling with emotion. I need some time to process this, Ethan. I can't deal with this right now. Ethan watched helplessly as Lily turned and walked away, her heart clearly torn. He knew he had overstepped, but he also knew his intentions had been pure. He could only hope that, in time, Lily would see that and forgive him. The next few days at the cafe were tense and awkward. Lily kept her distance from Ethan, focusing on her work and avoiding any personal conversations. The easy camaraderie they had shared seemed to have evaporated, replaced by a strained silence. Ethan felt the weight of the rift between them, but he respected Lily's need for space. He continued to support her in any way he could, hoping that their bond would eventually heal. As he worked alongside her, he silently vowed to regain her trust and prove that his actions had come from a place of love and concern. The days following Ethan's confession were some of the hardest he had faced. The atmosphere at the corner bean was tense, the easy camaraderie between him and Lily replaced by a cold distance. She avoided eye contact and kept their interactions strictly professional, her usual warmth and friendliness nowhere to be seen. Ethan respected her need for space, but it pained him to see her so hurt. He knew he had overstepped and that regaining her trust would take time and patience. He continued to support her from a distance, hoping that she would come to understand his intentions. One evening, as they were closing up the cafe, the tension between them finally reached a breaking point. The last customer had left, and the cafe was filled with the familiar sounds of the espresso machine being cleaned, the chairs being stacked, and the distant hum of the refrigerator. Lily, can we talk? Ethan asked, his voice tentative. Lily paused, her back turned to him as she wiped down the counter. There's nothing to talk about, Ethan. Ethan took a deep breath, steeling himself. I think there is. I know you're angry with me, and you have every right to be, but I can't stand this distance between us. I miss you, Lily. Lily turned to face him, her green eyes filled with a mixture of hurt and frustration. Ethan, you went behind my back. You didn't respect my wishes. How am I supposed to trust you after that? Ethan's heart ached at the pain in her voice. I know I messed up, Lily. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I see now that I should have respected your decision.
I'm sorry.
Lily crossed her arms, her expression softening slightly but still guarded. Why did you do it, Ethan? Why couldn't you just let me handle it on my own? Ethan stepped closer, his blue eyes earnest and sincere. Because I care about you, Lily. I saw how much you were struggling, and it hurt me to see you carrying that burden alone. I just wanted to make things easier for you and your family. Lily's shoulders sagged, her anger giving way to exhaustion. I understand that, Ethan, but you have to understand that accepting help is hard for me. I've always had to be strong and independent. I don't want to feel like I owe anyone anything. Ethan nodded, his voice gentle. I get that, Lily, and I admire your strength and independence more than you know. I just want you to know that you don't have to do everything alone. It's okay to let people in, to let them help you. Lily looked at him, her eyes searching his face for sincerity. Do you really mean that, Ethan? Are you willing to let me handle things my way, even if it means I might struggle sometimes? Ethan reached out, taking her hands in his. Yes, Lily, I promise to respect your wishes from now on. I just want to be there for you, in whatever way you need. Lily squeezed his hands, a small, tentative smile playing on her lips. Thank you, Ethan. That means a lot to me. As the tension between them began to ease, Ethan felt a glimmer of hope. He knew they still had a long way to go, but he was willing to do whatever it took to rebuild their trust and strengthen their bond. Lily, I care about you so much, Ethan said softly. I want to support you, but I also want to respect your independence. Can we find a way to move forward together? Lily nodded, her smile growing a little wider. I think we can. It's going to take time, but I'm willing to try if you are. Ethan felt a weight lift from his shoulders, relief flooding through him. I'm more than willing, Lily. I'll do whatever it takes. As they finished closing up the cafe, their conversation turned to lighter topics, the easy camaraderie slowly beginning to return. They talked about their plans for the cafe, the new menu items they wanted to introduce, and the events they hoped to host. That night, as they locked up and stepped out into the cool evening air, Ethan and Lily walked side by side, the distance between them slowly closing. The city lights cast a warm glow over the streets, and the sounds of distant traffic filled the air. Ethan, Lily said quietly, breaking the comfortable silence. Thank you for understanding, and for being patient with me. Ethan smiled, his heart swelling with affection. Thank you for giving me another chance, Lily. I won't let you down. As they continued to walk and talk, Ethan felt a renewed sense of hope and determination. He knew that their journey wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, they would navigate the complexities of their relationship, united by their shared passion for the corner bean and their growing love for each other. As the days turned into weeks, the tension between Ethan and Lily gradually eased. They fell back into their rhythm, their interactions becoming more natural and comfortable. The trust they had rebuilt was fragile but growing stronger with each passing day. Ethan continued to support Lily in subtle ways, always careful to respect her independence. He admired her resilience and determination, knowing that these qualities were part of what made her so special. Lily, in turn, began to accept that accepting help did not mean she was weak or incapable. It was a lesson learned slowly, but with Ethan's patient support, she started to see the value in allowing others to share her burdens. One sunny afternoon, the cafe was bustling with activity. The rich aroma of coffee mingled with the scent of freshly baked pastries, creating an inviting atmosphere. Customers chatted animatedly, the sound of laughter and clinking cups filling the air. Ethan and Lily worked seamlessly together, their movements fluid and coordinated. During a brief lull in the afternoon rush, Ethan and Lily found themselves standing behind the counter, enjoying a rare moment of calm. Ethan turned to Lily, a thoughtful expression on his face. "Lily, I've been thinking a lot about the future of the Corner Bean," he said, his blue eyes earnest. Lily looked up from the espresso machine, curiosity lighting up her green eyes. "What about it, Ethan?" Ethan took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. "I want us to take this place to the next level. We've already made so many improvements, but I think we can do even more, and I want you to be a bigger part of that." Lily's brow furrowed slightly. "What do you mean?" "I want you to become my business partner," Ethan said, his voice steady. "You're already the heart and soul of this cafe. I think we can achieve great things together, and I want you to have a stake in its success." Lily's eyes widened in surprise, her heart skipping a beat. "Ethan, are you serious?" Ethan nodded, his expression sincere. "Absolutely. You've put so much into this place, and you deserve to share in its growth and success. We'll be equal partners, making decisions together and sharing the responsibilities." Tears welled up in Lily's eyes, a mixture of gratitude and disbelief washing over her. "Ethan, I don't know what to say. This is incredible. Thank you." Ethan reached out, taking her hands in his. "You don't have to thank me, Lily. You've earned this, and I believe in you. I know we can make the Corner Bean something truly special." Lily squeezed his hands, a broad smile spreading across her face. "I'd be honored to be your partner, Ethan. Let's do this." With their new partnership officially in place, Ethan and Lily began to work on their plans for the future. They brainstormed new menu items, discussed ways to enhance the customer experience, and mapped out events that would draw more people to the cafe. Their shared vision and complementary skills made them a formidable team, each idea building on the last. One evening, after a particularly productive planning session, Ethan and Lily sat together in one of the cozy booths, the cafe quiet and dimly lit. The sense of accomplishment and anticipation hung in the air, their excitement palpable. "Ethan," Lily said softly, breaking the comfortable silence, "I just want to say how grateful I am for everything. Not just for this partnership, but for believing in me and supporting me through everything." Ethan smiled, his eyes reflecting the warm glow of the cafe lights. "I should be the one thanking you, Lily. You've taught me so much about dedication, resilience, and what it means to be part of a community. I'm so glad we're on this journey together." Lily reached out and took his hand, her touch gentle and reassuring. "We're a team, Ethan, and I have a feeling we're going to do amazing things together." As they sat there, hand in hand, Ethan felt a deep sense of contentment and hope. He knew that the road ahead would be filled with challenges, but with Lily by his side, he was ready to face them all. Together, they would build a future that was not only successful but also meaningful and fulfilling. Their new partnership marked the beginning of an exciting chapter for the Corner Bean. The cafe thrived under their combined leadership, becoming a beloved fixture in the community. Customers flocked to the cafe, drawn by the warm atmosphere, delicious offerings, and the genuine connection they felt with Ethan and Lily. As the months passed, Lily graduated from her business administration program with flying colors. Her hard work and dedication had paid off, and she was now equipped with the knowledge and skills to take the cafe to new heights. Ethan couldn't have been prouder of her achievements, and he celebrated each milestone with her, their bond growing stronger with every success. One evening, after a particularly busy day at the cafe, Ethan and Lily found themselves alone, the soft glow of the evening sun casting a warm light over the empty tables. They sat together, reflecting on their journey and the incredible progress they had made. "Lily," Ethan said, his voice filled with emotion, "I can't tell you how proud I am of everything we've accomplished. You've been amazing, and I feel so lucky to have you as my partner." Lily smiled, her eyes shining with happiness. "Thank you, Ethan. Couldn't have done it without you. You've been my rock, my support, and my inspiration. I'm so grateful for everything." Ethan leaned in, his heart swelling with love and admiration. "I'm grateful for you, Lily, more than words can say." As they sat there, wrapped in the warmth of their shared success and mutual admiration, Ethan and Lily knew that they were on the brink of something truly special. Their journey had only just begun, and the future held endless possibilities. ####Chapter 9. A new beginning, first draft. With Lily's graduation and their new partnership firmly established, the Corner Bean entered a new phase of growth and excitement. The cafe was thriving like never before, drawing in a diverse crowd of loyal regulars and curious newcomers. Ethan and Lily's combined efforts had transformed the cafe into a beloved community hub, a place where people came not only for great coffee but also for the warm, welcoming atmosphere. The weeks following Lily's graduation were a whirlwind of activity. They introduced new menu items, hosted live music nights, and even organized community events like book readings and charity drives. Each initiative was met with enthusiasm and support from the community, reinforcing the sense of purpose that drove them both. One morning, as they prepared for another busy day, Ethan and Lily sat together at one of the wooden tables, going over their plans for the week. The sun streamed through the large windows, casting a golden glow over the cafe. "Lily, have you thought any more about expanding the cafe?" Ethan asked, his blue eyes alight with excitement. Lily looked up from her notes, a thoughtful expression on her face. "I have, actually. I think it could be a great opportunity for us. We've built such a strong community here, and I think we could bring that same sense of connection to other neighborhoods." Ethan nodded, his enthusiasm growing. "I agree. I've been looking at a few potential locations, and I think we could really make it work. Of course, it would be a lot of work, but I believe in us." Lily smiled, her green eyes sparkling. "I believe in us too, Ethan. Let's do it. Let's expand the corner bean and spread the love." With their decision made, Ethan and Lily dove into the process of expanding their beloved cafe. They scouted locations, developed business plans, and worked tirelessly to ensure that every detail was perfect. Their dedication paid off, and soon they found the perfect spot for their second location. The new cafe opened to much fanfare, with a grand opening event that drew a large crowd. The air was filled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the sounds of laughter and chatter as people explored the new space. Ethan and Lily were both beaming with pride, their hearts full as they welcomed each new customer and shared their story. As the evening drew to a close, Ethan and Lily took a moment to step outside and catch their breath. The night air was cool and refreshing, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves of the trees lining the street. "We did it, Lily," Ethan said, his voice filled with awe. "We actually did it." Lily turned to him, her eyes shining with emotion. "Yes, we did, and I couldn't have done it without you, Ethan. You've been my partner in every sense of the word." Ethan reached out and took her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. "And you, Lily, have been my inspiration. Your passion, your dedication. It's what makes this all possible." They stood there for a moment, basking in the glow of their success and the deep connection they shared. It was a moment of triumph, but also one of reflection and gratitude. As they continued to expand the corner bean, Ethan and Lily's relationship grew stronger. They faced challenges together, celebrated victories together, and supported each other through every obstacle. Their bond was unbreakable, forged through hard work, mutual respect, and a shared vision for the future. One evening, as they closed up the new cafe and prepared to head home, Ethan turned to Lily with a thoughtful expression. "Lily, there's something I've been wanting to ask you." Lily looked at him, curiosity piqued. "What is it, Ethan?" Ethan took a deep breath, his heart pounding with anticipation. "I know we've been through a lot together, and we've built something truly amazing, but I want to take the next step in our journey. Lily, will you marry me?" Lily's eyes widened in surprise, her heart skipping a beat. "Ethan, are you serious?" Ethan nodded, his blue eyes filled with love and determination. "I've never been more serious about anything in my life. I love you, Lily. You're my partner, my best friend, and the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Will you marry me?" Tears welled up in Lily's eyes as she nodded, her voice choked with emotion. "Yes, Ethan. Yes, I'll marry you." Ethan pulled her into his arms, holding her tightly as they both laughed and cried with joy. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with love, hope, and the promise of a beautiful future together. As they stood there, wrapped in each other's embrace, Ethan and Lily knew that they were exactly where they were meant to be. Together, they would continue to build their dream, one cup of coffee at a time, and face whatever challenges life threw their way. Their journey was just beginning, and they were ready to embrace it with open hearts and unwavering commitment. The days following Ethan's proposal were a whirlwind of joy and celebration. Their engagement brought a new sense of excitement and purpose to their already busy lives. As they planned their future together, they continued to pour their hearts into the corner bean, determined to make their dream a lasting reality. With the success of their second location, Ethan and Lily decided to turn their attention to further enhancing the cafe experience. They wanted each customer to feel like they were part of a larger family, connected by a shared love of great coffee and warm community. One of their first initiatives was to introduce a loyalty program that rewarded regular customers with special perks, such as exclusive tastings and behind-the-scenes tours. They also started offering barista training workshops, giving coffee enthusiasts a chance to learn the art of making the perfect cup of coffee. The cafe buzzed with energy and creativity. Ethan and Lily worked tirelessly, their passion for their business evident in every detail. They experimented with new menu items, collaborated with local artists to display their work, and organized community events that brought people together. One sunny afternoon, as they were preparing for a local artisan market they were hosting at the cafe, Ethan and Lily took a moment to sit together and enjoy a cup of coffee. The air was filled with the rich aroma of freshly brewed beans, and the sounds of happy chatter filled the space. "Lily, have you ever imagined just how far we've come?" Ethan asked, his blue eyes reflecting the sunlight streaming through the windows. Lily smiled, her green eyes sparkling with pride. "It's incredible, Ethan. We've built something truly special here. I couldn't have asked for a better partner." Ethan reached out and took her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. Neither could I, Lily. I feel so lucky to have you by my side. As they sat there, savoring the moment, they were interrupted by the sound of the door chime. A young woman entered the cafe, her eyes wide with excitement as she looked around. She approached the counter, a smile spreading across her face. "Hi, I'm new in town and I've heard amazing things about this place," she said. "Can you tell me more about the Corner Bean?" Ethan and Lily exchanged a pleased glance before Ethan stood up to greet her. "Welcome to the Corner Bean. We're so glad you're here. Let me tell you a little about our story." As Ethan shared the journey of the Corner Bean, Lily watched with a sense of pride and accomplishment. She saw the way the young woman's eyes lit up with interest and appreciation, and it reminded her of why they had started this journey in the first place. Later that evening, after the market had ended and the cafe had quieted down, Ethan and Lily sat together, reflecting on the day's events. The artisan market had been a huge success, drawing in people from all over the neighborhood and showcasing the talents of local artists and craftsmen. "Ethan, today was amazing," Lily said, her voice filled with contentment. "Seeing all those people come together, enjoying themselves and connecting with each other. It reminded me of why we do this." Ethan nodded, his expression thoughtful. "Absolutely. This is what it's all about. Creating a space where people feel welcomed and valued. A place where they can connect and share experiences." Lily leaned her head on his shoulder, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "I'm so proud of what we've built, Ethan, and I'm excited for all the possibilities that lie ahead." As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Ethan and Lily continued to build their dream. They faced challenges and obstacles, but they tackled them together, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Their wedding was a beautiful celebration of their love and commitment, held at the original Corner Bean location. Surrounded by family, friends, and the community they had built, Ethan and Lily exchanged vows, promising to support and cherish each other through all of life's adventures. The cafe flourished, expanding to new locations and reaching new heights of success. But no matter how much they grew, Ethan and Lily never lost sight of what made the Corner Bean special. It was a place built on love, hard work, and a genuine desire to connect with others. One evening, as they closed up the cafe after another busy day, Ethan and Lily stood together, looking out at the city lights. The air was cool and crisp, and the sounds of distant traffic filled the night. "Lily, can you believe how far we've come?" Ethan asked, his voice filled with wonder. Lily smiled, her heart swelling with love and gratitude. "It's been an incredible journey, Ethan, and it's only just beginning." Ethan wrapped his arm around her, pulling her close. "I couldn't have asked for a better partner, Lily. Here's to building our dream, one cup of coffee at a time." As they stood there, wrapped in each other's embrace, Ethan and Lily knew that they were exactly where they were meant to be. Their journey was far from over, but with each other by their side, they were ready to face whatever came next. Together, they would continue to build their dream, creating a legacy of love, community, and connection that would last for generations to come.